Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something that has the potential to totally transform Indian MSMEs. That's micro, small, and medium enterprises, for those keeping track. Now, for the longest time, making this green transition has kind of felt like, I don't know, an expensive luxury, right? Especially for smaller businesses. But today, we're going to look at the actual data and frameworks that show how securing the right finance makes clean tech literally the most practical, cost-saving move a business can make. I mean, just think about the day-to-day reality on the shop floor. MSME owners, you guys are incredibly smart. You already know that those clunky old machines, the inefficient motors, the constant fuel leaks, they are just bleeding your profits dry every single day. You see it staring right back at you on the utility bills every month. So the real roadblock here, it's almost never a lack of intent. You want to upgrade, it's finance. It's getting the capital to actually do it. So how do we get you that capital? Well, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. We'll look at the cost of inefficiency. 2. What green finance actually is. 3. Why it matters now. 4. Making your projects bankable. And 5. We'll wrap up with a super practical MSME action checklist. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, the cost of inefficiency, when old tech hurts the bottom line. Let's take this abstract idea of resource efficiency and bring it right down to the shop floor.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. Look at the massive gap in lost capital when you compare current, inefficient operations with a potential optimized setup. It's huge. Green finance is fundamentally about bridging that gap. It's linking your business improvement directly with environmental performance. By upgrading to cleaner tech, you're not just, ticking an ESG box to feel good. You are dramatically slashing long-term operational costs. It's a total win-win, way less environmental impact, and significantly fatter profit margins over time.
Which brings us right to Section 2. What is green finance? More than just an environmental buzzword.
Let's strip away the corporate jargon for a second. Green finance is simply funding used for activities that reduce environmental impact or improve resource efficiency. Period. That's the whole shebang. It's about securing cash for genuine, cost-saving business upgrades. I really want to be clear here, this isn't just about saving the planet in some vague, abstract way. For an MSME, this is literally about tapping into specific pools of money designed to make your operations leaner, meaner, and way more competitive. So what does this look like in the real world? Well, it looks like ripping out outdated junk and putting in high-efficiency boilers, compressors, and motors. It's installing waste heat recovery systems, because without them, you are literally venting money into the sky. It covers things like rooftop solar to cut your reliance on the grid, swapping to cleaner fuels, and putting in water recycling or effluent treatment setups. We are talking about highly tangible, physical upgrades that take a direct axe to your overhead costs.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, why it matters now. Let's talk about the business case and the market pressures that are basically forcing this shift right now.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast it shows. Look at the old, risky way of doing things versus this new, data-driven reality. Traditional financing, man, that usually meant a business owner taking a wild guess at what they needed, buying expensive tech without hard data, taking on debt, and just crossing their fingers that it paid off. Green financing turns that entire model upside down. It relies on rigorous energy audits to figure out exactly which upgrades have the shortest payback periods. So, no more guessing. You're using hard numbers to lock in a guaranteed ROI. And hey, this shift isn't just happening in some back-office finance department. It is impacting a huge cross-section of professionals. Obviously, it's an absolute game-changer for MSME owners and plant managers trying to slash costs and risks. But it's just as crucial for corporate ESG teams who are facing massive pressure from supply chain buyers, and of course, for the consultants advising these businesses. Basically, environmental compliance has morphed into this incredible shared market opportunity for everyone involved. All right, let's shift gears. Section 4, making projects bankable, preparing for the lender, because knowing about the money is one thing, but how do you actually get your hands on it? I absolutely love this quote from the source material. A good energy audit converts a vague idea into a bankable project. Hit the nail on the head, right? This is the secret sauce to everything we're talking about today. Listen, lenders like SIDB, they do not fund vague green ideas. They don't fund good intentions. They fund bankable, rock-solid, data-backed projects. If you walk into a bank and say, hey, I want to be more energy efficient, they'll smile and show you the door. But if you walk in with a comprehensive energy audit, they will open up that checkbook.
So here's the straightforward logic of how an energy audit actually works. Step 1. Identify your baseline consumption. Exactly where are you starting from? Step 2. Find the precise efficiency gaps. Where exactly is your facility bleeding cash? And step 3. Calculate the expected savings against the capital cost to fix those gaps. This simple, logical sequence gives you the power to confidently prioritize the exact measures that are going to pay for themselves the absolute fastest. Once you've got that audit in hand, you've achieved what the industry calls lender readiness. Any bank is going to want to see a crystal clear project proposal. You got to be ready to show them your current energy costs, the specific proposed tech along with a vendor quote, your expected savings, the payback period, an implementation schedule, your promoter contribution, and yeah, of course, the whole shebang of standard financial statements, compliance docs, and proof that this tech actually works for your specific setup. Let's move on and see how this all builds into our final section. Section 5, the MSME Action Checklist, your next steps.
Okay, the number 12. This is absolutely crucial. The very first step you need to take, like literally as soon as this explainer is over, is go and collect the last 12 months of your electricity and fuel bills. Before you can improve a single thing, you have to establish that baseline. Without 12 months of hard data, you are flying totally blind. Don't skip this. So, building off those 12 months of bills, here's your ultimate toolkit for tackling India's green economy. First, use those bills to pinpoint your top 3 energy-consuming processes. Find the big hogs. Next, get a professional energy audit or technical assessment. Take that audit and go get vendor quotations for the upgrades they recommend. Then, sit down and calculate that simple payback period. If the math looks good, check out your finance options with SIDBI, local banks, or other schemes. And finally, get all your compliance paperwork lined up and ready to go so you don't hit any roadblocks at the finish line.
Now, as your guide here, I've got to pass along some smart, prudent advice directly from our source notes. Caution, do not take policy interpretations as legal advice, period. Never assume you're eligible for a subsidy, a credit, or financing without verifying your specific case. Just because a framework is out there doesn't magically mean every single MSME is covered by it. You always want to check the official portals before making any moves, because these rules and schemes, they change fast. And speaking of those official portals, here are the heavy hitters you should be exploring right away. SDIBI has highly specific products, like their green finance scheme and their end-to-end energy efficiency financing. On top of that, there are great resources linked to BEE, like the CITIT IEE energy saving finance options. Doing a deep dive into these official channels is 100% the best way to figure out exactly what kind of financial backing is out there right now for your specific business profile. All right, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final slightly provocative question. Are you avoiding finance for technology that doesn't actually match your process needs? Think about it. It is so easy to get distracted by shiny new tech or the promise of some massive green subsidy. But the real secret to success here is strategy. Only go after green finance for upgrades that actually solve your unique inefficiencies. Don't just shoehorn in a bad tech match because the funding happens to be there. Let the data from your energy audit be your guide. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those tough questions, stay curious, and go use this data to build a leaner, stronger business.